to Game Set Matchup, the podcast where we talk everything partnerships, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Hello everybody, I'm Carl Busby, your host of Game Set Matchup, the number one partnerships podcast, and we're back with another episode. So today we did something a little bit different. We recorded our first in-person Findr podcast. So if you are listening on audio, do feel free to check out the video, which you can find on our YouTube channel, and we'll leave the links in the description. So today I caught up with Courtney Fumarola, who is the co-founder and director of a company called CLG London. So CLG stands for Corporate Luxury Goods, and they specialize in providing bespoke products for events, gifting, retail, merchandise, and corporate, of course. They were a company born during COVID, and I talked with Courtney about how they managed to make the business a success. As usual, we discuss what a Gold Star partnership looks like for CLG and the sectors that they are focusing on, and we get to learn about all the things that come with being a founder of your own business. We also discuss what the core components are for building a long-lasting partnership with a new business, and the tips and advice Courtney would give to anyone thinking of starting their own business and building those partnerships. As always, remember you can find out more about Findr and how we are helping businesses secure discovery calls with vetted decision makers by hitting the links in the description. Enjoy this week's episode. So hey everyone, guys, welcome to Game Set Matchup. It's a podcast where we discuss all things partnerships. So we are doing something a little bit different today. You might recognise from the layout. We're doing our sort of first in-person Findr podcast with video as well. So if you are listening to this on audio, and you want to see the surroundings, feel free to go to our Findr YouTube channel. You'll be able to get the video. So as usual, I'm your host, Carl Busby. Enough of my waffling though. I'm very excited to have our guest today. So we have Courtney Fumarola. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly.
You did, well done.
So she's the co-founder and director at a company called CLG London. So hello, welcome.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. If we could, we start as we usually do. We'd just like to get a bit of an overview, a bit of an introduction to yourself. So, if you wouldn't mind just telling our listeners, a bit more about sort of yourself, how you've come to be, in the position today, sort of thing, and then maybe just after that, just a little bit about what CLG London actually is.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Courtney. I'm co-founder and director of CLG London. I have a business partner called Hannah. And my background before CLG, graduating from university, moved down to London and wanted to get into the fashion world. So I joined a high-end leather accessories brand. Very small business, makes very beautiful, beautiful products. And they were sold globally. So, and in the top stores, the Royal Warrant, everything like that, it was all very pristine and beautiful. Yeah. My role there was sales, and it was one of those where it's small business, you start in customer service, you build your way back up. And that's exactly what Hannah did as well. So I was in the sales, my role was international sales, to make sure all the stores around the world had, the top stores were stocking this brand, sort of attend all the trade shows, and just to make sure that sales and account management was top tier. Hannah, I know it's not all, but Hannah as well.
Give her a shout out.
Well done, Hannah. She was marketing at that company as well. And Hannah was actually my mentor there. She basically taught me everything, took me under her wing when I joined and taught me everything to do with their leather accessories. Wow. And she knows a lot about leather accessories, the ins and outs. And I really feel like I learned my most from her. And the ability to work for a small company meant that we worked in all areas of the business. And it was kind of you make the role that you kind of wanted to make, and you can explore different opportunities within that business. I think that's an amazing thing about small businesses. So that's kind of like my history. And then CLG was formed. So CLG stands for Corporate Luxury Goods. I
was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Got in there. That's okay. Yeah,
we did actually originally, when we went to register the business, we registered it as Corporate Leather Goods because our background is all leather. But that felt like it was pigeonholing us too much into leather accessories, and we wanted the opportunity later down the line to explore other projects, other materials, anything like that. So we launched CLG in January 2021. we are a COVID company.
Okay.
Bit risky.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, on the back of that, we had the time to allow us to develop CLG into what we wanted it to be without rushing something. So Hannah just started her new family. She had her first child just before COVID.
Right.
And I was then available because, no stores were open worldwide.
Yeah.
They did not need me for
Quiet.
sales.
Yeah.
It was very quiet. So we both became available, and it was one of those things where we were just having a conversation and saying, there's a real gap in the market for luxury, high-end gifts and merchandise. And we knew from working for that brand that companies contacted them and they wanted this beautiful premium product with their logo and their name on it.
Yeah.
And it was very few and far between to get that. So we really believed in the business, and it's one of those things that just snowballed, and we just ended up creating CLG, and 3.5 years down the line, we're still going. Loving it.
That's amazing. I was going to ask actually, how did you come up with the idea? But you said it sounds like it was kind of more of a natural.
It was,
progression, so it makes sense. And again, you and Hannah running the business. What's it like, in comparison to like maybe previous roles or jobs that you've done, being a co-founder of business? I'm sure there are some, there's the pros and the cons, right? We're just interested to, obviously you enjoy what you do.
Yes.
But are there any challenges in terms of running, being own business?
There are. I'm not a self-proclaimed entrepreneur. I'm not somebody that goes out gunning for that and that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
It was a situation where we found ourselves in, and it was a company that we really believed in and a product and service that we believed in. And with that, I was like, I'm just going to put everything into this and give all we can.
Yeah.
So my role within the business is I'm more business-minded. I am the logistics, the communicator, I'm the forward-facing one, come to the Findr events and things like that. And I've also learned the account side of the business. So we try to keep everything as in-house as possible because we are a small business, it's cash flow, it's funds, it's all of that. If I can learn to do something, I absolutely will, and I do it myself. And don't get me wrong, there's people that are very skilled and that you need to bring in for those jobs, certain jobs as well. Anything that we can do, we would do. So that's my area. So learning the account side, I've never done anything like that in my life. YouTube and our accountant has helped a lot. That constant back and forth. And Hannah is the creative, so we very much know we stick in our lane. Hannah is the eye of the business. She's the design. She's the creative behind all of the products that we have, the development behind them, all of the artwork that we send to customers. That's all Hannah. And I think the website as well. And I think we both know where our expertise lie, and we're very happy to leave each other to do the other parts. But everything's learning. Just juggling everything and be able to manage it, and then the discussion of do we bring somebody in, are we going to employ at some point, and that scares me. That's scary, it's everything's a learning curve. I think probably one thing that I find most difficult is we're a product. We sell a service and a product, and with that, I think customers don't need us. We're a beautiful add-on. We're at the end of the budget, so the financial year when you have an extra amount that you can spend, you buy a gift to your employees or anything like that. We are not needed, and so with that you don't have customers on retainer.
I know what you mean.
I'm not trying to dumb us down. We make a beautiful product and we give an incredible service, but it's not like the backbone to a company to need gifts and branded merchandise. It's just one of those things of knowing that you don't know where that next order is going to come from. You don't have a guarantee. You don't have customers on retainer. So it's just building that up and making sure that you create a service where customers want to come back to you, and then hoping that they do.
No. I mean, it sounds like from what you're saying, you guys make a good duo in terms of nice balance of skill sets and stuff. It leads us on nicely. So obviously we're finding we're about partnerships. It sounds like particular businesses or companies that you might go to or target. But what for CLG London, what would you say a gold star sort of partnership would look like for you and that other business?
I really feel like mutual respect. I think respect for each other, the companies and the people that you're dealing with. From our side, them having respect for the time and effort that we put into projects. We don't charge currently for our design process, so that is all free of charge. So all the time that we spend, some orders, smooth sailing, it's a product that we already make, and that's no issue. But for the others that are bigger projects, it's kind of just understanding that the design process takes time, and the time and effort that we put into that at no charge whatsoever. And likewise, the mutual respect for us, for them, the fact that it needs to go through so many people to tick off and have it checked and everything like that. It has to be approved. And understanding their wants and needs, and being able to make something for them, and knowing that this all matches up and we're not clashing heads. We have one amazing customer that is a huge name, and that really goes a long way for having a huge name. But the fact that behind that huge name is this customer, and she's just incredible with us, and she's so respectful of Hannah and myself, and she's kind of like a cheerleader for us. And it feels so nice and warm to know that, it's great. And she really believes in what we do and the service we offer. And I think having that rapport and respect for each other is great. And communication. You've got to communicate. I think I like to not over communicate, but I like to be transparent. I want our customers to know exactly what's going on for them, so that they don't have to worry if they're thinking, it's good, it's 2 weeks before it's meant to be delivered. Is it on track? I'll always let them know if it's on track. A very few and far between cases where it's not. But if it isn't, I give them the heads up. Let people know. And likewise, from our customers' point of view, if you can communicate, if you want to put it on hold, no problem. But you'd rather know than having to chase. And I think, again, that probably just boils down to respect too.
No, I like that. You mentioned some qualities. I think being the transparent one is a big one. That sort of leads on a bit onto next question, because I speak to a lot of companies, a lot of businesses, and partnerships is a big part of it. The things that they do. When they work and they go well, obviously it's all great, and we like to hear those success stories. But one of the things we like to talk to guests on the podcast, just is there, and we ask this question because it's taking the learning. So has there been don't need to name any names.
No, wouldn't do that. No.
People, but just just the learnings of like a time where you maybe went into something and it just didn't quite work out as you expected, and then like what did you sort of take from that for future learnings? There
is one that still sticks with me. It was a customer that it was in our first year, and we went to them, we pitched this idea that they wanted a product, they wanted a collection made for the product that they sell. And so we went away, they showed us the design that they already had, and they were saying, we basically want a very similar design to this, we just want it a bit more pristine looking. We went away and made them a collection of different items. And it was the first part of the design process. These were first set of samples, sent them to them, and massively on reflection now, they were not to the standard of anything that we make now. And it was a very big learning curve. We sent them to them. They were in the process of moving offices. They ended up losing them. We never got the feedback that we needed to create the second set of samples. And I think with that, it boils down to the fact that it wasn't to the level that we would make, but there was no communication. There was a lack of communication on their side, the loss of the samples, all of that process. And if we'd have been able to communicate a bit better about what we wanted to do next, and maybe sent through new visuals of how we wanted it to develop, it might have spurred things on a bit more, but we lost momentum. And it was, I would say, 60% our fault, 40% them not doing much and losing the samples. And I still kind of kick myself now, because they could be a huge customer for us. And it's one of those you think, do you reach back out and just make new samples and send them to them? But I think communication.
That sounds it. I think communication is key. I mean, it's an easy word to say, but like you say, it's having communication is key. The only way what's going on with someone, or how it is to talk and not make an assumption. Sometimes I think people just assume everything's working in the background, and then when things don't go well, you're like a simple email, whatever it could have just been to, to resolve it, and then the situation's not there. So that's good. But anyway, it sounds like you definitely learned from that, and
definitely learned from that.
Much, better products and everything.
Yeah.
Just moving on to the next one. So, what have we? Findr, as you know, because you've been somewhere, we like to host Findr Collective, gives everyone people a chance to meet and network. And potentially find business or partners, but we're always interested in just finding out from yourself as a business, how at the moment are you sort of looking, how do you go about getting new business? So some companies will have sales teams. Sounds like maybe with yours a bit smaller, but there isn't an actual sales team.
It's myself and Hannah.
Yeah. Some people have partnership teams. But it's just interesting to sort of know, how are you going about finding, these new partners? I'm guessing, you focus on specific sectors, I don't know, hotels, these kind of things, and you're reaching out. But I guess, you can't just walk into and go, hello, No. So how are you going about actually sort of doing that?
Well, I'll be honest. We are very, very fortunate that a lot of our customers are through word of mouth.
Right. Okay.
And I think
that's a good thing. Though.
It's great. Yeah. It's great, and it's a testament to our service and the product that we make. But it's a difficult one, because I would say a big chunk of our customers and big customers are through word of mouth, which it really is amazing.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to actually trying to get them yourself, it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having the portfolio of clients and products and testimonies and things that you've done before really helps to get you more foot in the door. But we have a strong website, and inquiries come through that, and SEO and things like that.
I checked it out. It's a very nice website. Yeah.
Thank you. And LinkedIn, reaching out through that, asking people for referrals. That isn't something we've done much of. I never want to put other companies in a difficult position. But I think mostly for us, it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
And going out there and doing your research. Do your research. Is there, we do work in the hospitality sector.
Yeah.
Is there a new hotel opening? Do they need gifts? Are they in the realm of the sector that we work in? Or is there a new restaurant? Or is there an event going on? And you know that there's a company exhibiting at this event. Do they need gifts to hand out?
Yeah.
I think it's doing the research around that, and then going about, who do I contact? I need to contact this business. Who do I contact within that business?
Yeah.
Because you can be knocking on a lot of empty doors, and it is tiresome. It's a long slog.
Yeah.
And out of 100 people that you contact, you might get one. That places in order. But I think having a portfolio of clients behind you and the products you've worked on is so valuable.
It's a good sort of block to have.
It is,
I've got to ask at the beginning, actually, do you do stuff globally, or are you just doing stuff?
We do globally.
You do globally as well.
Yeah,
Oh, good. Okay, so if anyone's just watching,
anybody.
Globally wise, you can take a look at the website. Again, obviously, probably touching a little bit on the learning side of things. So another thing we like to ask guests around, is there sort of any advice you would sort of give to your sort of, we say you look quite young, so but if you go back in time, I think there's a lot of things that we might sort of do differently, or there might be just one thing that you kind of sort of lean on where you're like this is something I would definitely have done slightly differently. Starting out, doesn't necessarily have to be with this business in terms of, but it could be a previous business or something. But it could be like a little tip, or something that that people that sort of listen that might be able to probably relate to if they're in those shoes now. Thinking they don't want to be making mistakes. They're probably like working hard to like try and promote themselves or do things, but sometimes obviously that can be it can lead you down sort of certain paths. So any sort of sort of tip of advice you would give that younger self of you?
As cliche as it sounds,
we like it.
I think be yourself. People buy from people, and people trust people, and I think that goes a long way if you can be authentic in yourself and actually be transparent and be as open and honest as you can with your customer. You're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eye. And I think with that, you obviously have to believe in the product or service that you're delivering.
That's a big
I think if you can be yourself, people appreciate that and they see that. And I think if you're putting on an act or if you're trying to deliver something that you just can't, it shows. So I do think definitely try to be yourself as much as possible. And you don't have to be good at everything, you know? We all know our strengths. Mine's not Photoshop and I'm not creative. And I know that. I gave it a good go while Hannah went on maternity leave. I tried and we both agreed that I needed to delete the password and log in and to never look at it again. So, do you know, I was relieved.
You've got a good relation and you can have that conversation. You know,
She was like, it's a no. Just step away from Photoshop for now. But don't try and do everything. Like I know I said that I've tried to learn a large part of the business. I think learning the account side as a founder is really important to know where that money's going and how things are looking. I think you can be quick to kind of brush that aside and just focus on everything else. But I think that is kind of like the nitty gritty of what you need to understand. So I have learned that for the purpose of that. But I think you don't have to be good at everything and know your strengths. And if you need to get people in or, you know, for any sort of form of help, then do that. Because you don't want to hinder the success of the business by holding back. So I think it's kind of just acknowledging that your strengths and weaknesses, and you know, it's not a bad thing having weaknesses. Just you're better at other stuff and not at others.
Absolutely. I think it's not a cliche. You know, being yourself and you know, believing in what you're actually doing. I think that's a key part. If you've got any doubt or you know you don't have you said you're not going to be selling it or giving that that talk to someone and being sort of passionate about what it is. So I think that does play a big part. We'll come to just the last question really is we like to ask guests what do you think the sort of future sort of looks like when it comes to partnerships. I think obviously with your business you're looking in particular sectors in terms of who you're sort of going with, but maybe there are some things that you think will sort of change in the next maybe 2 to 3 years in terms of maybe how your business maybe like how you find new clients or maybe there's some a particular tool or we do often talk about AI because obviously this is a big thing that's obviously affecting a lot of businesses but just be interested, like do you have any ideas on maybe something that you guys might be looking to do sort of differently in the future to support the partnerships?
I think for us it's the constant development with AI, with technology. I think you can't be put walls up against to that. You need to kind of be open to it and explore it more and see how and that's the word, embrace it. You need to embrace it more and just like explore the options and the opportunities with it. I think just with us when it's product development and things like that, technology is so important, and it's important when it comes to developing a product that is for technology. We have a lot of products for that. We have cases. One main one was the AirTag, the Apple AirTag. They launched that in our first year, so in 2021, and Hannah was very quick off the bat to create a design around that. And it probably took another year for that to take off and for people actually to recognise what an Apple AirTag was. And now everybody has them. They're dotted in every luggage that you have going. And now that's one of our best-selling products. And I think it's knowing the customer out there and knowing what you need to do to cater to them and how to bring them a product that's practical. That is us to a T. We make sure that we make a beautiful product, but it's practical and it's got purpose. So we need to be on the ball with everything that's being launched all over and developing with it. I think that's important for us to keep going.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Again, you say just like it's keeping just aware and sort of abreast of the things that are then tailoring what you do, and then just trying to sort of get in there. I guess get before they sort of launch, like I said with the AirTags, getting there ready. So when it does kick off, you've got a product and something there that's ready to go. Listen, it's it goes so quick as always, but we've come to the end. Really appreciate you sort of taking the time to come as the first in-person Findr recording.
Thank you.
And for me, just to say, good luck with everything with CLG. I'm probably going to talk at an event or something anyway.
Obviously,
but
yes.
like I said, wish you all the best with it.
Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome.
for joining this week's Game Set Matchup. Tune in to hear more about the need to knows and the do's and don'ts when it comes to creating successful business partnerships.